The death toll from last week's winter storm is still unknown right now, but lawsuits against the state's power grid are growing. As the storm hit Texas, power generating plants across the state were knocked offline. Without that supply, the Electricity Reliability Council of Texas, known as ERCOT, ordered utilities to cut power to homes inside the statewide power grid. Lawsuits filed in the past week allege that ERCOT's decision to unplug Texans could cost many people their lives. A KXAN investigation found, however, those lawsuits may be useless.
This fundraiser tells a story of just one young Texan suspected of freezing to death inside his mobile home.
The death of 11-year-old Christian Pineda, who died in his sleep after playing in the snow.
As a father of 5, I heard no story more horrifying than that of Christian Pineda, the 11-year-old boy who was found dead in his bed as he spent the last time of his life under a pile of blankets, struggling to stay warm.
Lawmakers called ERCOT CEO Bill Magnus and Public Utility Commission Chair Deanne Walker to the Capitol to find out exactly how this happened. Meanwhile, in the last week, lawyers filed 4 lawsuits against ERCOT in Harris County and the electric utilities there.
Do you consider yourself a government agency?
We're not a government agency. We are a private Texas corporation. We are, formally a private organization. We perform a public purpose, and we follow a lot of, regulations and public rules. So we're sort of, in the middle in some ways.
An important question because court rulings in the past determine ERCOT is an arm of state government and, like the government, has sovereign immunity, meaning ERCOT technically cannot be sued for property damage, personal injury, or death stemming from its governmental function. We saw that upheld when the power company Panda Power sued ERCOT in 2016. A lower court dismissed Panda's suit, finding ERCOT was immune from lawsuits. The Texas Supreme Court could soon weigh in on ERCOT's immunity.
If there is no sovereign immunity, if the Texas Supreme Court comes back and says they're not entitled to sovereign immunity because the legislature did not give them that ability, then it's unlimited in terms of what could happen, and a jury can make a determination on what's there.
Eric Cedillo is a clinical professor of law at Southern Methodist University. He says the Supreme Court ruling could open ERCOT up to lawsuits, seeking millions in damages. If the Supreme Court decides ERCOT can't be touched, Cedillo says utility companies could be the ones paying damages.
Some people were in the dark for 40, 50, 60 hours at a time in just incredibly cold conditions. And that is what caused all the property damage. That is what caused the loss of life. So the actual regional providers, if they were making decisions on who was getting power and who wasn't, and not subjecting it to the rolling blackouts like they should have been doing, that could be a real problem in terms of who they may be liable for.
The lawsuits filed in Harris County show that strategy is already in motion as Texas works to count the victims.
In a state that prides itself in being the biggest and best, we couldn't even keep a young boy warm.
Well, there are at least 2 other routes Texans could pursue litigation against ERCOT. One is under the state's Tort Claims Act, where damages, including death, would be capped at $250,000. The other is under the taking clause in the Texas Constitution, where plaintiffs could argue their power was cut to serve a greater good and they suffered damages to help others in the grid. I explore these concepts more in depth in this report at KXAN.com. From the Texas Supreme Court, Jody Barr, KXAN Investigates.